Once you've completed the stockinette portion of the body of the bag, you're ready to move on to this really beautiful lace work. This is a super simple lace stitch that's worked over the course of 4 rows or rounds. It can be worked in the round or flat. Of course, in this case, we're going to be working in rounds. So again, I just have a small sample here that I'll be working with. Yours will look different because it will have the base of the bag attached to it, but this is just to demonstrate the stitch. So this stitch is worked over a multiple of 6 stitches. If you're working it flat, you would need to add probably an edge stitch to either side, so it would be a multiple of 6 plus 2, but for this bag we're working in the round, so it's just a multiple of 6. And you're going to begin, the first row of the lace work is a knit 3, so we're going to knit 3 stitches. Then we yarn over, which means we're just going to be creating a stitch which will produce these little holes. A yarn over creates this little hole in the work, in the lace. To do a yarn over, we simply move the yarn in between the needles and back to the back of the work. Then we are going to work a double decrease called an S2KP, which means we're going to slip 2 together knitwise at the same time. Then we're going to knit 1. And then we pass the 2 stitches that were slipped up and over the stitch that we just knit, like that. And it decreases 2 stitches, and it's also what is known as a centered double decrease because this stitch is going straight up and centered, and the 2 stitches that were decreased are now hiding behind that center top one. Many stitches that are decreased stitches will either lean to the left or the right, but this one goes straight up. It's one of my favorites. We're going to follow that S2KP with another yarn over and then another knit 3. So this knit 3 is the beginning of that stitch repeat. We're just going to be doing those 4 steps over and over and over again. The knit 3, the yarn over, the S2KP, and another yarn over. So again, we're going to knit 3, yarn over, S2KP, and yarn over. And we'll just continue that all the way around until we reach our stitch marker at the end of this round. Now I've reached the beginning of the round again. So I've completed round 1 with the repeat knit 3, yarn over, S2KP, yarn over. Now we're going to begin round 2, which is simply just to knit all the way around. So I'm going to knit into each of the stitches, including the yarn overs from the previous round. And we'll do this all the way around again until we reach that stitch marker. Okay, I've come back around to the stitch marker after the end of round 2, which was just knitting, and now I'm going to begin round 3 of the repeat, which is essentially the opposite of round 1. So instead of starting with the knit 3, we're going to start with a yarn over and an S2KP, then another yarn over, and then we knit 3. So basically we're putting a knit 3 above all of the S2KPs from the row below, and then we're putting a S2KP over all and a yarn over on either side of it above the knit 3 from the row below, round below. So every time you approach what previously was a knit 3, you know that these 3 stitches are going to create an S2KP in this round. And we first put a yarn over, then we do S2KP, which stands for slip 2 knit pass, by the way, and then another yarn over. And then this was previously the yarn over, S2KP, yarn over, so we're going to make that a knit 3. And again, we just alternate all the way around until we reach the stitch marker again. I'm back around at the beginning and finally ready for the final round of this 4-round repeat, which is just a simple knit all the way around. It's the same as round 2. So I'm going to go ahead and knit this entire round. And then you'll just continue repeating those 4 rounds over and over and over again until you reach the indicated height on the pattern of what this amount of work should be. Then you'll continue with simple stockinette rounds, work another repeat of the lace work, continue in more stockinette until you reach the final round where you're going to be binding off some stitches, placing these on a stitch holder, binding off more stitches, and then working one side of the strap all the way up. And the sides of the straps are going to be decreasing slowly using a knit two together and a slip slip knit, which I'll be demonstrating in the next video.